So, when I left the Mormon Church, I made two promises to members of my family. The first one was to my father that I would not attack the Mormon Church. And the second one was to my sister that I would not start my own religion. Recently, a family squabble that I'm not going to go into the details of, except to say that both myself and a different sister were at fault, escalated way out of control when my brother-in-law basically threatened legal action. The thing is that this bothered me for a couple of reasons. The first one is that Mormons are encouraged from birth to avoid lawsuits. There's a lot of reasons for this, but bottom line, basically, they are not supposed to, it's considered unchristlike, quite frankly, and I think that there are times for lawsuits, and the particular legal action that was taken certainly has its justifiable time, even among Mormon circles, but the general consensus is among most of the members of my family that this was way over the line. As a result of this, I really literally can't attend family reunions that we typically have once every 3 years because I'm to avoid contact with my sister, and in the informal truce that was formed, they agreed to the same thing. So, is in terms of contacting me or mine, as if we would care anyway. Here's the thing. The thing that really bothered me, though, out of this isn't so much the actions of my brother-in-law. Turns out he's a Mitt Romney friend, like they're on first name basis. So, that pretty much says everything you need to know about his character, depending on what you know about Mitt Romney. But the thing that really bothered me was the silence from two of my sisters and my father on this matter. And, I'm sure later on they might reconsider and say, oh, you know what? You shouldn't have done that, and you should make peace with them. I don't really care what their reaction is later. Silence at the wrong time is an inherently evil action. Right now around the country, we have racists who are, due to the actions of our current president, feeling empowered and emboldened to say or do whatever crazy things pop into their heads. And we see a lot of these people recorded on film, but I have to wonder that for every person that happens to have a witness nearby that can record them on phone, there must be 10 to 20 that don't. Silence at the wrong time, as shown in these videos. These happen in a room full of people, and most people just sit by and let it happen. And to be honest, even when I was a kid, and on the news they would show these videos of people getting mugged in a park full of people, with people just standing by and going, gosh, that's bad. Somebody should do something. Well, it happened to me in my own family, and half my family just sat there and let this happen and did not say a damn thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, the two promises I made when I left the Mormon Church are now null and void. I don't know about starting my own church anytime soon, but the time has come for me to share some of my thoughts on the LDS Church. And in this entry, and I'm probably going to do about 9 of these, in this entry, I am going to talk about something in the Mormon Church that is called Final Judgement. And I will explain the context of that. So, in the Final Judgement, when the missionaries go around and talk to people and teach them, they basically show God's plan on earth, right? How there was a pre-existence, and how before this earth we all lived with God, and there was a big war in heaven between Jesus and Jesus's brother Satan, and Jesus wanted to sacrifice himself so that we would have the choice between good and evil, and Satan wanted to make everybody do the right thing. Jesus won, So everybody who is born on earth will get a body, come to earth, you forget heaven. When you die, you go to a place called spirit prison, and you're waiting for your final holding bin. Mormons believe in multiple heavens. There's a celestial, a terrestrial, and a telestial kingdom. Most people forget about this other circle that they include between the spirit world and your final heaven that will occur nominally thousands or potentially even millions of years from now, called Final Judgment. Final Judgment will take place after the resurrection, and it will take place before you enter your final resting place. There's a lot of different thoughts on Final Judgment, but the general consensus is that it's not going to be one trial. It's going to be multiple trials where a reconciliation will take place. Angels will read from written records of your journal and other people and eyewitness accounts. And even things that Christ paid for will still have an accounting that takes place in which justice is served, because the Mormon God is kind of a no stone unturned, no I undotted, no T uncrossed kind of guy. So I am going to very briefly give a statement that hypothetically I would give in Final Judgment. And it's going to go something like this. My name is Thomas Craig Ricks, and I do not recognize the authority of this court for the simple fact that as an intelligent being, I had my memories stripped, and that while the justice and jurisdiction of this court might recognize my spiritual energy as one person to another, the being that on earth I was recognized the concept of memories and memories alone. And as such, especially since my memories have not yet been restored to me, I, as an inhabitant of earth, was not instructed properly, save by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which several members of are now standing in the jury. On April 26, 2007, a war criminal was given honors and accolades by God's supposed church on earth. I was taught from an early age that the president of the church can take no evil action, but I know for a fact that this was an evil action. No amount of chicanery or double talk can change this fact. As such, I request banishment to what is referred to as outer darkness. No heaven is acceptable to me, because I do not want to be with a Godhead that creates a situation that is so unjust that the purported miracles that take place on a regular basis could in fact be performed by a con man, and no accounting is taken place for the injustice or hypocrisy of the leaders of this church. More importantly, members of my own family have conducted themselves so poorly that any religion that they would follow is something that I will not find myself in the same afterlife as them. I served that church faithfully and obeyed every covenant and every commandment until this incontrovertibly evil act upon which God failed to act. As such, as far as I'm concerned, this court is a farce. The force on which it resides is a farce. And all authority and foundation upon which it resides are false. And that's pretty much how I'd end my testimony, and I wouldn't say a damn thing after that. Don't know much about what this Mormon God would be like, but I'm willing to bet that if free agency is such a wonderful thing to them, testimony should not be compelled. And that's the only thing I would say. Going forward, as I said, I'm going to be asking some fundamental questions that I think need to be asked about the Mormon Church. Mormons as a people are not evil. And there are elements of the doctrine that are quite beautiful. The problem is like so many other Christian denominations, the way it's actually enforced is not applicable to actual reality. And I'm going to show that. So we'll see what happens.